Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be no contact, restraining orders, and child custody issues. That's a crazy title. So, this particular email, this guy is in obviously no contact with his ex. They were together about 9.5 years. They got I think it's a 2.5 year old kid. They're both 32. And I guess something happened, and she ended up getting a restraining order against him that was, I guess, in effect for a year. I don't know what country he's in, but he's got about 6 months left on that. And so the only time he and her talk is through text, and that's pretty much always exclusively having to do with arranging them, switching the kid or whatever. But other than that, like if he starts to talk about anything else, she just stops replying. But he still wants her back. He wants to put his family back together, even though he knows he screwed up. So obviously, if you're in a situation like this, you need legal counsel, because in most cases, you're not allowed to contact them. But again, I'm dealing with guys globally, so I don't know what the laws are in your state, your country. That's why you need legal counsel to advise you of what to do in those situations so you don't get yourself in more trouble. But just as a side note, I mean, if a girl's got a restraining order against you, and especially in this case because they have a kid together, she only wants to talk about things to do with the kid, then his attitude should be, you know what, it's over. We're never going to get back together again. And so therefore he should be reading the book and applying it and becoming a better man, becoming a more attractive man, more optimizing his life and his body and taking care of himself. And because I guess he's had some chronic health issues, and he's forced to take off work, and he often ends up just not being able to physically work, and so therefore he loses his job. That stressed him out. It stressed his girl out. It was just kind of like back and forth over the years that they were together. So the one thing he has control over is how he takes care of himself. And so if he's got chronic health issues, the number one goal in his life, when he's organizing his life goals, should be to take exceptional care of his body. Weight training, eating healthy, cardio, all of those things. Obviously, I don't know what his health issues are. He's going to have to work with his doctor. But physical fitness and eating really super clean should be a way of life for this guy. It should be something that he just commits to, because having a chronic illness where you're getting sick and you're incapacitated and you can't work, it really is going to screw with your quality of life. So you got to be able to take care of your body, take care of the controllables. And in the meantime, again, if you're assuming it's over, then you should be wanting to master what's in 3% Man and get some experience dating and applying that. Because if at the end of this restraining order, if she doesn't renew it or get it as a permanent one, then there's a possibility that if you're dating and you're hooking up with other women, you're going to be totally indifferent to her. As a matter of fact, if you apply what's in the book, you're probably going to be dating women that are younger and hotter than her anyways, that you better click with, and you probably won't even want her back by that point. But if you got other choices and other options, and you've mastered what's in the book because you really take it seriously to learn and master what's in there and practice it, most importantly, with women, when you got choices and you got options, you're going to tend to do more things right than wrong. And therefore, that'll put you in the best frame of mind and mindset, and it'll give you enough practice and wisdom and knowledge over the next 6 months to, let's just assume, just hypothetical, that the restraining order is not permanent, and then you guys can talk later. But if you're dating and you're kind of indifferent to her and you just keep things cordial, having to do with your kid, have all of your plans arranged ahead of time so there's no reason for you to reach out and text her or call her or anything. And if all the arrangements are made ahead of time, then if she continues reaching out after that, then it's clear she's reaching out because she wants to talk. So you put yourself in the conditions where if all the arrangements are made ahead of time, you got no reason to reach out at all for any reason. And quite frankly, neither is she. You stick to your schedule, and that's it. Because in these instances, especially if she sees the change in him, how he's physically different, how he's mentally different, how he carries himself. He's got a little bit of swagger, a little cockiness, a little confidence. He's calm, unlike probably the way she's used to seeing him. She might start doing things to get his attention and interest, and then he can kind of re-engage and start to apply the things that are in 7 Principles to get an ex back, invite her to do things together. But as long as this protection order, the restraining order is in effect, just keep it to do with the kid. And again, you need to have legal counsel advising you on this. It's licensed to practice law in your city and your country. Because you don't want to get jacked up with the po-po in the courts. So with that in mind, let's go through his email and see what's going on here. He says, "Hey Coach, I hope all is well. Thanks for taking the time to read this email. I greatly appreciate it. I could really use your help and insight. I don't mind any critique to help educate other men. I started getting into your work over the last few months, mainly watching and listening to videos so far, and I just started reading 3% Man this week." Well, if you're new here, it's free to read at understandingrelationships.com. Just subscribe to the email newsletter, put your email, your name, create a password for yourself, and then the book will open up right in your web browser and you can start reading it. All these videos are based on the assumption that you've read the book and you kind of know the baseline fundamentals, and these video newsletters will help you fine-tune and apply what's in the book to this particular type of a situation. My ex-fiance and I were together for 9.5 years. Both of us are 32. We share a 2.5-year-old child. Her and I had a few short breakups here and there, and one longer breakup for around 3 to 4 months, but we always ended up back together. To give you a little background, throughout our relationship, I've dealt with chronic health issues that have forced me to take off work multiple times for extended periods. Obviously, this contributed to financial and emotional stress in the relationship at times. As a note, she also grew up moving around a lot in an unstable family environment and unfortunately lost her father to suicide as a teenager. So she obviously comes from a broken home. So for her, these instances of financial and emotional stress, I'm sure, were magnified. Well, I'm sure it would probably trigger her because she grew up in an unstable environment. Like attracts like. People that like the same things happen to like each other. Water seeks its own level. And so she attracted a man into her life that had stability issues just like her father, because that's what's natural. That's how it works. I would also say that throughout the relationship at times, I grew complacent, I wasn't taking her out, and I was courting her less. That's usually what most guys do. They're trying to save money, or they get caught up in life or business or whatever, and they cut out the dating and the courtship. And you always got to date and court your girlfriend or your wife, or eventually somebody else will come along and some other guy will do it for you. I mean, just look at Tom Brady. The jiu-jitsu guy stepped in to date and court her because he didn't. He says, I would look to other outlets such as going out with friends or other hobbies over doing things with her. Not good. Women want to be in a love story. I would also say that over the last 2.5 years since the birth of her child, we put more effort into doing things as a family and slowly started doing things less as a couple. You can't do that. You got to have the two of you, even when you have kids, you got family, you got other commitments. The two of you got to find time for each other. You have to date. The family that plays together stays together. The couple that plays together stays together. So you have your family time, but you also got to have couple time. So we had less dates, less time together for just us, less sex. One thing I will say about her, there were times where she put me down due to health issues and didn't take responsibility for her fault and our issues. This may have been out of her frustration. In the fall of 2023, we separated for that period of 3 to 4 months. She felt that I wasn't contributing enough to the household duties and was also out of work too much due to health. She called it the bare minimum. Well, any woman in this situation where she's leaning on you, you're supposed to be the head of the household, and because of the health challenges, you can't physically do it. So that's not going to make a woman feel safe. It's going to make her basically become a man because she's got to move into the masculine and basically be the breadwinner for both you. It's like you, in essence, become like one of her children instead of her teammate and the leader of the household, and she's going to resent that. She's not going to feel safe, and the legs are going to close, especially if you're not dating and courting her like you said you were. During that time apart, we lived separately, splitting custody. I refocused on prioritizing how I could be better and better contribute to our needs. We got back together in early 2024, and I started a new job during this time. After being back to work for 8 months, I unfortunately had a setback and had to take an extended leave in September of last year. During this time, my physical and therefore mental health worsened, again contributing to financial, emotional, and physical issues. As the time went on, it was incredibly frustrating and anxiety-provoking for me. During this time, with everything going on, I grew complacent again, stopped taking her out, etc. I fell back into old patterns I thought I had worked out. We still did smaller and shorter activities as a family on our days when I felt up to it, but as for her and I, we didn't prioritize our relationship together. Yeah, if you don't take care of your garden, if you don't pull the weeds out, if you don't water it and make sure it gets enough sunlight, it's going to die and wither. Fast forward to December, we got into a blowout argument. The straw that broke the camel's back, yelling, screaming, and I, as myself, as you would say, was acting like the monkey in the cage, like a child throwing a tantrum. I lost emotional control, and I scared her. I was not masculine. I deeply regret and have incredible remorse for how I handled things. She did put me down again multiple times during this period, and although I contributed, she would never take responsibility for her actions. It was always my fault. Well, if you're supposed to be the leader and you're not leading, at the end of the day, the buck stops with the leader. She ended up breaking up with me and filing a restraining order for 1 year. Our child is not on the restraining order. However, we are now engaged in a contentious custody battle. The restraining order still has another 6 months left. During this time, due to the custody situation, I have only seen our child in a limited capacity. My ex and I did not have contact for the first 3 months of the year. In March, she reopened communication regarding our child. From March to early June, we communicated every couple of days through text about our child. However, these text exchanges were always short and to the point, nothing else. Well, again, you got a restraining order, so you got to focus on only what you're allowed to talk about and discuss with her. She would stop responding at times as well. In the beginning of June, after finding your work, I decided to go no contact. Well, you should be a no contact because you got a restraining order. I mean, I don't know what the terms of it are. Again, I don't know. I'm not an attorney. I don't know the laws in your city or state or country. So, but typically you're not. I don't know how it handles with kids in the mix. But again, every place is going to be different based on their laws. That's why you need legal counsel to advise you. From June to August, I stayed in no contact. She messaged me multiple times during that period, only about our child. I did not respond as the messages were just updates. Last week, I broke no contact to message about our child. We exchanged a few messages, but she eventually stopped responding. As a note, she's on a dating app. Not sure how often she's gone on dates, but I could assume that she probably has a little bit, or at the very minimum, is talking to other guys. Well, it's clear if she's on dating apps, she's trying to move on with her life, and you should be doing the same thing. You should be developing a practice squad, developing what's in the book, because just sitting around waiting on the restraining order to expire so you potentially can re-engage with her is a bad way to go, because you won't get any better. You'll still be the same guy when you reach out. And like I said, if you really take to heart the message that's in the book and learn it and commit to reading it 10 to 15 times and put the audiobook on 2-speed and then follow along in a digital or physical copy, you can get through each read in about 4 hours. And so the more you do that, the more the information gets in your brain, the more you start applying it, you start to get to success, you get results, you get wins, you start seducing other ladies. And like I said, as you improve, your game gets sharper, you attract better quality women. When the restraining order is expired, you probably won't even want her back. But it would behoove you to do the things I just talked about So you can put yourself in the best possible chance to have other choices and other options, so you have an abundance mentality. And then if she does come back, you're going to be giving off a completely different vibe. And especially if you're taking exceptional care of your body and you're getting the best shape of your life, she'll see it differently. She'll be the one coming on to you and chasing you and pursuing you. And you should be following what's in Seven Principles, Get an Expect. She clearly broke up with you. I don't know what happened that led to the restraining order, but obviously you got to remain calm at all times. You can't lose your shit. Because of the restraining order, I can't really communicate with her other than about our child, even at pickups and drop-offs. So what's my next move? Back into no contact? Yeah. You should assume it's over and that's it. You co-parent and that's all you do. Because legally, that's, as you put in your email, that's all you're allowed to do anyways. So not sure how to best do that with our child. What gives me the best chance of attracting her back under these circumstances? Just time. You improving yourself. You mastering what's in the book. So you can clean up your unattractive behavior that turned her off in the past and get some other choices and other options. Because like I said, more than likely, if you really apply what's in the book and you get better, there's a really good chance you're not even going to want her back once the restraining order expires. You will have moved on with somebody better, hotter, and younger, and who jives with you better. You know, if you get in shape and you really take it seriously, maybe you attract a woman who also is into physical fitness, and then both of you can push each other. It's been 7-8 months and I want out of this custody situation. I love her. I just want her and our family back, but I know it only matters how she feels. I've taken this time to work on myself again and truly, for once, understand how I need to handle things differently. Not just listening to videos like yours, but really putting things into daily practice. Well, repetition is the mother of skill. Excellence is not a singular act. It's a habit. You are what you do repeatedly. What you do often, you do best. I've gotten my health to a stronger place, physically and mentally. More than anything, I feel like I at least need to somehow apologize and take responsibility. But due to the situation, I can't really do that. Well, again, that's the only way you can do that is if the restraining order is gone. And so right now, it's in force. You can't do a damn thing. So again, you have to move on with your life, assume it's over. You're never going to get back together again. She's dating other people. You got to do the same thing, because that's going to help you get better and put you in the best possible position that you're potentially able to not only potentially re-attract her, but attract women who are better. Because if you got 2 or 3 women that are better, hotter, younger, better attitude, there's a good chance you're not going to want to go back to her. You'll just want to be friends with her and co-parent, and that'll be it. In regards to custody, should I continue fighting for 50-50 or to try to work something out on a reconciliation in some way? Well, you know, at the end of the day, the court is, I assume, going to decide. So it's your kid, man. How much or how little are you okay with spending with your child? How involved do you want to be, or are you okay with not being involved? So that's something for you and your legal counsel to figure out. But if it's my kid, I'm going to want to be able to spend as much time and with them as possible, because it goes by really fast. If you've ever been a stepdad or a dad, you know what I'm talking about. It's just boom, just like that, and it's over. Corey said, thank you so much for your time and reading and listening. I truly appreciate it. Any help is appreciated. Well, familiarize yourself also with the article and video I did, 7 Principles, Get an Ex Back. So when you're able to correspond with her in a more open way, you'll know what to do. But the most important thing is reading the book and applying it and getting good at the stuff that's in there. So if you do start interacting with her in the future, she sees a completely different, new and improved version of you that's way more attractive, way more confident, more disciplined, has your life together better than you've ever had it in the past. And that'll stack the deck and the cards in your favor to give you the best possible chance to get what it is that you want. So if you got a question or a challenge and you want to get my help, go to understandingrelationships.com, click the products tab or coaching tab at the top of your screen on any page of my website, and book a coaching session with yours truly. If you haven't already signed up for our exclusive premium members only content, in the video description is video. There are links to join on YouTube, or you can join on Spotify, or our website, understandingrelationships.com. Just click the plans tab when you get there. And on the website, you can sign up for a 7-day free trial to check out what content you get for your money. And if you choose an annual plan, you get a 25% discount for paying the whole year's premium up front. And just remember, today is Thursday, and from 2 p.m. Eastern to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Zone, same time zone as Miami, New York, we do live streams with myself, Chunky, and the girls, and we do answer your questions. So if you got some short questions you want to get answered, show up on our live stream. Just go to @Coach Corey Wayne, the YouTube channel, or my YouTube channel, and click the live tab, and then click on the live stream that corresponds to today. Until next time, we'll talk to you soon.